Alright, hi Team Suntabulous. This is one of our first of many videos that I'm going to be doing for you guys weekly. Excuse the wet hair, the no makeup. I just got out of the shower and it's nap time. And many of you moms know that during nap time you get as much accomplished as you can. And that would include this video without makeup or doing my hair. Because if I had waited to do my hair and my makeup till this video was done, then, well, if I'd done it before this video, then the video would not get done. So, okay, I asked a couple of you guys what you wanted to see in videos as far as trainings. So the first one that I want to do for you is hostess coaching. And that's really important for what your parties are going to turn into. It's just like any other sporting event or anything that you do in your life. You prepare yourself, and the better that you prepare yourself, the more that you practice, the more that you train, that's going to lead to better results in the end. So think of that as you're going into training your hostess to have an awesome party. So we call that hostess coaching, because you are the coach and she's the player, and you want to give her the right moves, the right, in basketball terms, we would call them plays. You want to give her the right plays to make the party turn out the way you want it, and just to have the best party that she can. So a lot of this I'm taking from, I'm going to put all these files too after this, but Scentsy has a great hostess coaching, planning a party. That's where I started to learn on how to coach my hostesses, so a lot of what I do comes from that. Alright, so we're just going to start from the beginning. So you got your hostess at a party and you booked your date with her. And whether you decided if she was getting a free booking prize, as far as like if she booked a party, she got a free plug-in at her party, or if she booked a party, she got a free scent of the month bar. Whatever it is you decide, you're going to decide that with her, and then you're going to book her date. Now, once you've booked her date, then quickly after, or if you're like me, like that night, because I'll forget the next day, you're going to make, and I'm just telling you what I do, so it may work for you, it may not. You can do different variations. So when I say what you're going to do, this is just what I'm doing. So I go home and I make my hostess a folder. And this is a hostess I have coming up on, you can see I put her name plain right there with the date and the time at the top so I can read it, because I have, let me pull it out here for you. Where you can see this sits on my desk and has all my hostesses folders in it, easily accessible to me, and anything that has to pertain to their party goes in there. So that's what I do. Then I have on her folder what I call the checklist, and I have a separate checklist for basket party hostesses as well, but it's kind of just the same, and I'll post this file for you too. It goes through every information that you're going to put into the workstation for her, and it reminds you of things that you need to be doing for her party. So after you write in all her information, then it's going to ask, say, enter party into workstation. It's going to ask you for the date, and you're going to think, oh, I should do that. So you need to put the date down. Then it says deliver or send hostess packet date. Then it email hostess letter date. Follow up with hostess. Call 2 days before party to check. This is just really good to have on your on each folder, because a lot of times I'll think, did I email her? Did I send her a thank you? It's right there. If I didn't write it down, because I usually am sitting at my desk and I'm writing those thank you notes or entering into the workstation, and it's just quickly to go off and put the dates on there as well. So that's the first thing that I do. And a lot of hostess coaching has to do with what you are doing behind the scenes too. Okay, so you've created her folder. You're ready to start her hostess packet. Now, My goal is to have the Hostess packet in the hostess's hand about 2 weeks before her party. That's the ideal situation. If you're booking a party and it's going to be next week, you may need to get it out that next night. And a great way, too, is to have pre-made Hostess packets with you at parties so that you can just hand her the Hostess packet, too. I'm really bad at that. I'll just be honest and say that. A couple times I've done it, and it's been really handy, but my mommy brain just forgets sometimes. So that's a good thing that I should be remembering, too. Okay, so Hostess packets. We're going to just start from the basics, and we're going to go through what a Hostess packet is. I use the Scentsy envelopes. Great information because I can put everything that I need down there, and they can keep track of orders on the back that they want to. When I started out, and I didn't have money to buy these, I just used the ones from the dollar store, and those work totally fine. They're the same size. When I started being able to purchase these, they are a tax write-off, but I love that I'm going to the post office and I'm handing them something that says Scentsy. Many of the times the girls behind the desk have said, "Oh, do you have a catalog?" Or, "Oh, that smells really good in there." So they'll say something about it. And then I always just have a little join sticker on there too. So that's what everything's going to go in. The next thing that I have, remember all these files are going to be uploaded for you, is a Hostess kind of information letter on 2 sheets. Kind of explains what she needs to be doing. It explains order form instructions, and I also have a sheet that is outside order incentives. And this is really good to put in there because she may be thinking, I don't really need to be doing anything for my party besides just putting out the invites. And really, you want her to be selling before you even have the party. You want those outside orders. So these are just little incentives that I have. $50 in outside orders collected as a free Scentsy bar. That's on top of everything else that she's getting. $100 in outside orders is a free room spray. If your party closes at over $500 in sales, I'll reward you with a free lotion. So I'm already giving her some really good goals to reach just by this short little paper. So that goes in my packet. I also put in my packet a Hostess wish list. This is really important because I want my hostess to go through the catalog before I get there. I want her to be a little familiar with what I'm talking about because she's going to be my assistant, even though she doesn't know it, at the party. So I want her to be familiar with what she already wants. I want her to have already all her warmers written down. Then I can look at this when I come to the party. Beforehand, I'll pull that out and say, "Oh, did you fill out your wish list?" And maybe she'll say, "Yeah, I didn't get to smell anything." I'll say, "Yeah, but just give me the list of the warmers that you want, and we'll go through it. And then we'll have a good goal of what our party needs to reach for you to get all that for free and half price." So that's a really good way to have her already done some of her shopping, but also a good way for you both to set a party goal. Because if she has a whole list, you're going to have to say, "Jennifer, you're really going to have to help me push your girls so we can get this $800 party because I want you to get everything on your list for your Christmas done tonight." So include that. And then I also include what we call the Frank invite list. And this goes through and it just helps your hostess think of everybody in categories that she should be inviting. Friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids groups. And what about coworkers, church, people you do business with, people who have invited you to a home party. So it just gives her an easy way to think through people to invite. Then I also include catalogs. Usually do about 2 to 3 in a hostess packet. I also include, didn't put them in there, but I also include the Scent of the Month, Warmer of the Month flyer in there as well. With our new stickers that we came out with. I'm also going to put these on the Scent of the Month and Warmer of the Month flyers each month. So that'll give her a good idea of what our scent of the month is for that month. You include order forms. I do about 10. And I always tell my hostesses, anything you don't use, I'll take back and recycle. I include invites. Now, some people will send these out for their hostesses. I like to have my hostesses send them out because I think I'm just really kind of lazy. But what I'm really excited about is Scentsy came out with these new, let's see if I can get it the right way, these new invites that actually are kind of like a mini catalog. So they have all the hostess information up on the back and where they're going to mail it to, place for your stamp, and it's sealed. But when you open it up, the seal is actually scented. See if I can, I'm not sure what that one is. But anyway, it says, and then it says, like this Scentsy fragrance, ask about it at your party. So I guess I should know what that is before they ask me about it, huh? Then inside, it just gives a little mini catalog. And it lets them know what's going to be at their party. Pretty cool, because I think sometimes when people are not familiar with Scentsy, they'll get the invite and think it's a candle. Right there on the front shows you the system right at the top. So I love that that Scentsy did that. So I'm definitely going to be using these a lot. So those go in your hostess packet. And then I always love to spoil my hostesses with little gifts. So this will also go in. Just says thanks for hosting, and she's not expecting anything at all, but it's just something extra that I got for $1 at half price or something. You know, whether you do a bath tablet, a pen, a pen, whatever. You want to be spoiling your hostess and make her excited. So I usually give this to her. That way she can have it in her car. That way when we are talking about scent circles at her party, she can say, oh yeah, Hannah gave me one in my hostess packet. Totally wasn't expecting it, but I know she loves to spoil her hostesses. But anyway, I love it. It's been in there for 2 weeks and it still smells great. Yet another way to brag about our company. So anyway, okay, so that's the hostess packet. That's what's included. So you're going to mail that to her, or you're going to deliver it to her, whichever works for you, about 2 weeks before her party. Then on that same day, you're going to send out a hostess email to her. And I will put this format on for you too as well. And it talks about just letting her know. We'll say, hey, Sade, I put your, this is one I sent out today, put your hostess packet in the mail on Monday. You should be getting it today. Just wanted to let you know that your party's already set up on the workstation. Here's the following link. I have your party scheduled for da-da-da-da-da, and that's highlighted because you want to make sure that you have the correct time and date with her that she has. Then it just goes through, again, kind of what the blue paper did in the hostess packet, letting her know that she should invite 30 to 40 guests because normally only about 10 to 15%, is that right? What's 10% of 30 is 3, so 30%. Yeah, so about 30% of your people that you invite are going to come. 30 to 40%. So if you only invite 10, that's only 3 to 4 people. If you invite 30 to 40, you're about to get 10, 15 people at a party. So you want to encourage her to invite 30 people. So going back to your hostess packet, how many invites are you going to include in your hostess packet? 30 invites. You're going to tell her, whatever you don't use, just give back to me and I'll recycle. But you want to give her the opportunity to get those 30 invites out. A lot of your hostesses won't even use those, and they'll use Facebook invites. But I like to coach my hostesses and tell them that people need to hear from you or I in 3 ways. They need to hear from us virtually. They need to hear from us with a hard copy, as far as something in the mail or something literally handed to them. And they need to see us eye to eye. So if you're reminding them 3 different ways, they're most likely to come. So remember that and coach your hostess on that too. So Facebook invites are really great, but I know you guys know as well as I do that sometimes those events just get lost in time. So you want to coach her to do the whatever I'm trying to say, the hard print invites anyway too, as well as the Facebook invites. Oh, I think I need a nap today. Okay, so you're sending her out the email. So you have communicated with her 2 different ways. You've sent her virtual email. You have mailed her or handed her her hostess packet. Now, a lot of it is in her hands, but you want to make sure that you are checking back in with her. So, about 1.5 weeks, about 1.5, yeah. I usually do about 1 week before the party. I want to make contact with her. Just want to say, hey, Jennifer, did you get all your invites out? Has anybody responded? How's it going? Is there anything that I can do to help you? You just want to make yourself available to her, and you want to check in. Maybe she'll say, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. There you go. That's happened more than once. So you want to make sure that you're staying on top and making sure that you are not you're letting her know that you're not forgetting about her, because like any coach, if you don't train your team and you just train them once and then you expect them to turn up to a championship game and play the best that they're going to play, not going to happen. So you need to train your hostess and you need to stick with her. You're not going to be going to daily practices with her, but you want to make yourself available to her. So about 1 week before, you're going to get in contact with her. Then 2 to 3 days before the event, you are going to call her, or you're going to personally stop by, whatever, but you need to make contact with her. I know I have some people saying, my hostess is just not getting back to me. Take some surprise Starbucks to her house and just say, hey, I was in the neighborhood, just wanted to drop by, see how everything's going. I know we'll be here in 2 to 3 days. Wanted to make myself familiar with the neighborhood because I know it's going to be dark when I'm coming out. Whatever excuse you have to have. Make sure that you get in contact with her 2 to 3 days before the event, because this is where you're going to get your final count for how many guests. You're going to ask her things like, do you have a table that I need? Do you have a table, or should I bring a table? What's your setup like? This is, these are the final details that you're going to be talking to her about at this time. So that's 2 to 3 days before the event. One thing I did forget to mention is, and why I forgot to do it is because I forget to do it. Ironic enough as that is. You want to send out a thank you note to your hostess before the party. And like I said, I forget to do this a lot because I think of thank you notes as something after the fact. But right away you want to just thank her for booking the party, and thank her for just being excited about the product and for helping you grow your business. Again, the more contact that you have with her, the more excited that you seem, then that's going to make her excited. So that's probably going to be the very first thing that you send to her after the party. And usually, like I said, when I remember to do this, I do it that night that she booked the party. The night that she was at the party where the booking happened. I usually do it then. That way I get it out right then. Okay, so then the next thing that you're going to do is go to the party. Now, you've contacted her 2 to 3 days before, and you're all set. You're ready to go. Sometimes I do contact my hostess maybe like a couple hours before the party and just let them know, hey, I'm going to be on my way in about an hour. Do you need me to pick anything up? I have had so many hostesses just say, I really appreciated you asking me if you needed to pick anything up. And it was actually funny one party because one hostess was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, what do you need me to pick up? And she's like, I forgot the dip for the vegetables. And I was like, there's no problem. So I stopped at the grocery store and picked it up for her. And it just shows your hostess that you're going the extra mile for her. And hey, that was, tax write-off for me. And I, didn't even charge her or anything. So it's just an extra way that you can help your hostess out and make her time easy. Okay, so you're coming to the party. Usually I arrive to the party about 30 minutes early. Now, some people may not think of this part as hostess coaching, but when I think of coaching, I think of the way that I had a really great basketball coach in high school, actually assistant coach, and he coached me the way that, well, I guess I would say the way that I should coach someone is the way that he coached me. I don't know if that makes sense, but I want to show my hostess how easy my job is, really. And I don't know if that just all made sense, so you can just forget that anyway. But so you're going to the party, and I arrive about 30 minutes early, and I want to show my hostess how easy it is to do this business, because that's part of hostess coaching. I'm coaching my hostess, and maybe in return, is she going to be doing the same thing later? Is she going to be coaching someone else into hostess coaching? So I hope that makes sense. But anyway, so I'm going to show her how easy this business is and how much fun it is. So 30 minutes prior, I show up. I set up my simple display. I'm one trip in. I'm one trip out. And usually I am set up, I've been doing this business for 3 years, and so I feel like I've got my display set up, in 15, 20 minutes. And so then that 10 to 15 minutes that I have, I'm sitting chatting with her, or I'm helping her cut vegetables, or, put food around, or I'm playing with her 2-year-old daughter so that she can, finish cooking, or, whatever it is. I'm showing her how fast and how easy it is to set up. And then I'm spending that quality time with her. And maybe this is the time where you're going over her hostess wish list with her, or you're collecting any outside orders that she has, and you're just reviewing the orders to make sure that you understand them, that they were added correctly. So that's part of hostess coaching, because you're coaching her to maybe become a future Scentsy consultant. So make sure you get that ingrained in your mind too, that this is part of hostess coaching, is recruiting too. Kind of overlaps. Okay, so then throughout the party, this is going to kind of lead us into our next video that we're going to be doing next week, but throughout the party, you are just kind of using your hostess as your assistant. She's already familiar with the product, and you're going to be saying, oh yeah, Jill really liked, I don't know, let's pull out one of the catalogs. You're going to be doing your catalog walk, and you're going to be saying, oh yeah, Jill, our hostess, she really loved Elemental. That was one of the ones that she picked out, and that's one of the ones that she's hoping to get free tonight. So hopefully your orders are going to help her get that free. So you're putting that a little bit on her. You're putting the orders on her. But part of another thing that I call hostess coaching has to do with booking parties. And I know a lot of you are asking me, what are the secrets to booking parties off of parties? One of my secrets is making it your hostess's responsibility. That's a little deep, because you're putting it onto your hostess and she doesn't even know it. So one of the things that I coach my hostess in is wanting free product. And I don't know if I heard this from Dawn or whoever taught me this, but it's been a lifesaver at my parties. So I'll tell my hostess before the party starts. I'm going to tell her my goal tonight is to get 3 bookings off of your party. And I just want to let you know now that I'm going to tell the girls that if we can get 3 bookings tonight, you're going to get whatever the first warmer is listed on her hostess list, that you are going to get elemental for free. If we can get 3 bookings. That's huge. She's like, oh, really? Okay, we can do that. Absolutely. You kind of just shifted the responsibility of booking onto her, because now she's going to be saying, when you're all sitting around talking about booking part, just throughout, if anybody's, oh, I like all this stuff, she's going to be saying, Sue, you totally need to have a party. You totally do. And then she's going to be telling, her friend Sally over here, Sally, I'll come to your party. I'll come. Have a party. I'll come. So she's secretly encouraging them to have parties. She's booking the parties for you. So that's part of hostess coaching too on my end as well. What else can I tell you? I think that just being in constant contact with your hostess is huge, and being genuine and being very, very real. A lot of my hostesses have become my friends, and I would say the majority of my hostesses, I would say probably a good 75% of my hostesses are now recruits, are now consultants. So I don't like my hair like that. So I'm doing something right as far as hostess coaching. But be friends with your hostess. I think that's the first important part about being authentic, and that's what Scentsy is. We're not just they're not just a piece of meat to get us our business. They could be your next best friend. I use this business, I tell people, it just has grown me spiritually, and God has blessed me with hostesses that have really impacted my life. And the more that you're genuine with them, the more that they're going to open up, and the more you're going to see that, they could be struggling financially, and maybe they wouldn't be telling their friends that, but they're going to tell you because they see how real you've been with them, and that can lead you to an open door as far as, talking to them about the business opportunity. Other than that, as far as your party goes, your hostess is working beside you during the party, helping you book parties, but you just also want to help her have a good time too. Take the load off your hostess as much as you can. I'm during the party while everyone's sitting down and having a glass of wine or something. I will more than likely be the one that says, "Oh, let me go get you, that," or "No, Jane, just sit down. I'll get it for him. Don't worry about it." Or I'm the one that's answering the door for the hostess when she's in the kitchen finishing last minute details or something. Closing your party with your hostess, as far as hostess coaching, you want to make sure that you're giving her the best bang for her buck, and make sure that you're familiar with the packages. But this is where a lot of recruiting also can come in, because I feel that you need to include sharing the commission that you are about to make off of her party with your hostess, and flipping your hostess from a hostess into a consultant. And that's going to be the final part as far as hostess coaching at the party, and just sharing the opportunity quickly with her. You can say, "I know, Sue, we haven't even talked about this, but I just want to let you know that this is an option. If you enjoyed what you saw tonight, if you feel like you would like that extra $50 for an extra pair of shoes a month, or you do want to quit your 9 to 5. I don't know anything about your job, but this is something that I love, and I want to share the blessing with other people." So you want to be coaching her in that way too. You know, then you're going to close your party, whatever she decides. Let's say she doesn't decide to join. So then you're going to go home and you're going to put her party into the workstation and you're going to close it as soon as you can. Scentsy policy says no more than 3 to 5 business days after you've had your party. A lot of times I like to get my hostess's order that night. If not, if she says I've got a couple more orders coming in, we will set a date that we are going to close, and that way she knows that's the deadline, because we're not keeping it open for 2 weeks afterwards. This is the deadline, and we set that the night of her party so she knows. Then we close her party, get her order. You're going to be the one that's packaging up her order and everything, and then you're going to deliver it to her, and she's going to deliver it out to the customers. So I think that's it as far as hostess coaching. I hope that was eye-opening for you. Maybe in some areas, maybe you had some ideas that you don't use that you can incorporate. Number 1 rule is stay in communication. Number 2 rule is be authentic and be real. And number 3, be consistent. And be consistent with how you're treating your hostesses and what you're doing in coaching with them. So, okay, hope that helped you. I'm going to upload these files to our Team Scentabulous page. And then if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and we'll talk about them. Okay, thanks.